Guitarist Toolkit with Guitar.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the guitarist's worst enemy, the altered chord. I've recorded a little jazzy chord progression. It goes a little something like this. It's C minor 7, G minor 7, F minor 7, and then G7. And I'm actually using an alteration on that. I'm using a sharp 5. Sometimes you're using a sharp 9 or a flat 9. And what happens when you encounter one of those chords is that most guitarists tend to ignore it. I'm once again going to demonstrate how that sounds when I ignore that chord. It's going to sound okay-ish. Let's see what happens. Once again, it sounds all right, but it doesn't sound 100% correct. Now I'm going to play through this G7 chord. I'm going to play it right on the money and see how that sounds different. Do it one more time. And now I'm going to play through that chord. I'm going to play right on the money, and I hope you can hear how that really emphasizes the pull that the dominant chord has. It's going to sound like this. Yeah, it gives you that insane amount of tension on the dominant chord. And that results in the satisfaction when you resolve the chord. Right? So you can really use that to your advantage. If the music contains an altered 7 chord, you really want to play through that chord, create that tension, and the money is all in the way you resolve it. And I have a little exercise for you in how you can approach this. For example, the most obvious scale to use would be the harmonic minor scale. So you're in the key of C minor, already have. You already have your minor scale, and what you need to do is you need to change one note out of that scale. You're going to have to sharpen the 7, or rather remove the flatness from the 7, so it gives you a natural 7, so you get this. Right? When you play that scale over the G7 chord, you're going to hit the target note, which is the major third of that chord, plus a lot of the alterations, such as the flat 9, sharp 5, etc. And gives you really, it characterizes the sound of that chord. Right? So what you really want to work on is to not only play that scale up and down, but to also resolve it. So we're going to play 8 notes here, and on the 9th note we're going to resolve. So start on G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you want to land on a chord tone, in this case the 5th. So you have a couple of options. You can either go up chromatically. So it gives you this line. Or you can enclose the target note by going above and below. Or rather, in this case, below and above, and then resolve. Let's play that an octave higher to give it a more melodic register, right? And you do the same thing from a different chord tone. Let's start on the 3rd of G7. And you resolve to the root. That sounds really good too. Let's start on the 5 of G7. here I enclose the third. So really all the money is in how you resolve these notes. So yeah, I always play a bar of G7, 2, 3, 4, and then C minor. And then resolve. And I have to live with my resolution. I'm going to stay on that last note I played and take it in. And if I resolved it correctly, I can just rest on that note and it's going to sound really satisfying and beautiful. One more time. 2, 3, 4. And so on. There's a lot of fun to be had in just negotiating these chord changes, even if nobody is playing chords underneath you. So it's a lot of fun to be had with that stuff. So that's how I approach my line creation, my improvisation. It also largely informs my composition because I've really trained my ear to be hearing all those chord tones as the chords go by, and that makes melodic choices very easy. Like when I write a song, I can come up with a vocal melody very easily because I almost like play the melody on an imaginary guitar and then sing it. And because I've practiced so much improvisation in my life, I get to the good notes fairly easily. So yeah, it informs all my musicianship, whether that's compositionally, whether that's improvisationally. It's something you can check out. I got a book on this kind of stuff. It's called Modern Rock Guitar Soloing. I go into that. It's on Amazon. Go into much more depth with that stuff in that book. Yeah, I urge you to check out what chord tones can do for your playing. That's a really good thing to delve into.